Alright, what's going on, boys? This is Matt from EMFC here, back again today with another brand new series on the channel. Today we're on F1 2018. We are doing the career mode. I haven't played an F1 game before, so this is going to be an interesting series to see how it goes. I pre-recorded, or I was going to try to record a McLaren career mode, but something happened with the files, so instead of that, I was thinking, and after realizing that I'm not the greatest at this game yet, we went with Toro Rosso Red Bull, and we're basically going to be replacing Pierre Gasly, as in real life, if you don't know, he is moving up to the main team, Red Bull Racing, and he'll be replacing Danny Ricciardo as he's moving on. So we're basically simming that in our single-player career mode. I've seen a couple of videos on the F1 career modes, like from last year, and got me really interested in this game. So we're trying it out this year. The series hopefully goes well on the channel. I might switch up how we do the format next episode, but we are starting at the Australian Grand Prix.
Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media, so be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Welcome to your new team. Toro Rosso are famed for nurturing promising talent and kickstarting the careers of exciting drivers, from Vettel to Sainz to Ricciardo. But they're much more than that. This is a strong team that expects regular points finishes.
So as you can see, the graphics and cutscenes on this game are not too shabby, at least compared to the other racing games out there. This is probably the most in-depth single player that you can get. Hopefully the other games catch up, so there is a good competition in the market. But anyways, back to the game. We're at Toro Rosso Red Bull, which is basically a mid-tier team in F1, and they want consistent points. We do have a decently good F1 car, Honda powered, so the engine is hit or miss from what I've heard around, but in R&D, which you will see in a minute, you can research and develop new parts for your car throughout the season. So we went in straight in. As you can see, there's like a skill tree, and basically you can buy a couple, and I just went straight in, use the resource points that we had already, and you earn these points every weekend of a race by practicing and doing these little challenges basically. But we went through and purchased a drivetrain upgrade and an aerodynamic upgrade, or a power unit upgrade basically. So those should be in development, and hopefully they are good and working for China. I think that's when they will hit the car, if they are successful. If they're not successful, then we're pretty much fucked. But anyways, hopefully those go through. As you'd see in the bottom quickly there, that there's different bars to show where our car has its strength and where it has our weaknesses, and our powertrain is the lowest, so we're going to be working on that. Like I said, they're pretty weak.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more? Appreciate your time.
All right, so now that Claire has fully just cut me off right there. As you can see, after every session, you get to go to the press and basically talk about what happened on the track, and the way you respond affects your relationship with the team and the certain departments that make parts for the car. So basically, if you have a bad finish, they'll be like, oh, how was the powertrain out there, or whatever, or how was the downforce, how was the aero? And if you say, oh, it was bad, or whatever, this department did this, some departments will start to dislike you, and their parts will fail easier than others. So you gotta watch out for that, and they're pretty quick to read all 4 of those answers that Claire throws at you in like 10 seconds is pretty difficult. So we answered as best we could, and we move into our qualifying at the Australian Grand Prix. It is an overcast sky, as you can see. During this qualifying session in F1 as well, you have to go out with all the other cars, so especially if there's rain, everyone goes at the end or whenever it's not cloudy to put down the best lap time, and there's 3 stages of qualifying. So anyways, luckily for us there was no rain this time, but the track was fairly busy on my first lap, so I pitted in, came out with about 5 minutes left, and as you can see, we're not having the best of laps. We're using our flashbacks, which are set on, and we will be using pretty much all season until we get good at the game. I'm getting a good feel for it now. I was having problems with my Thrustmaster the first day I got on the game, just because there's no wheel rotation setting in the game. You have to actually set it in your Thrustmaster UI control panel thing on your computer. So I got that all set up, and now the steering wheel is feeling pretty good. We laid down a decent lap here. It's not the greatest, obviously. We are not in the greatest equipment, and at the moment, I am not the greatest at the game. But I think we end up last, maybe 19th, 18th, we'll see. We'll let you listen in to the opening ceremonies for the Australian Grand Prix there, and then we'll catch up when the race starts.
From here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe, before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Raikkonen, Alonso, Sainz, Magnussen, and Roman Grosjean. Hulkenberg, Perez, Esteban Ocon, and Ericsson, Leclerc, Van Dorn. They've taken a grid penalty. Sergei Sirotkin and Lance Stroll, the captain, and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
All right, so as you can see, we are starting the Australian Grand Prix, 5 red lights, and we are off. We got the wheel cam in the top right with the Thrustmaster TMX, and we are away. Luckily, our teammates somehow got a penalty and started 20th, so we didn't start last. As we were going into first, we lock it up going in. Oh my god, it was hell to try to do that perfectly. We get a little bit loose, get on the outside of Stroll, bump him in, and we go past him. We are the better Canadian. Going into turn 3, we try to dive it in deep here, catch up to Sorokin and Van Dorn. I was having problems coming out of 4 and 5, to be honest. The computers just love to brake coming out of 5 for some reason, even though you can go flat out. And I get caught out here trying to make a move on Sorokin, blow my front wing off, and then almost crash into a wall. So we roll it back. It is all right. We have the flashbacks there for a reason. Again, I'm going to be using them for at least 2 or 3 races, and then I'll probably ease off of them and just let the races go how they go until I get used to racing F1. I'm not used to having such fragile cars, to be honest. Racing in iRacing, I'm racing stock cars, NASCAR Heat 2. You can use the bumper. In here, you can't really. You can use the dive bomb, and that's about it. As you can see, we're doing it again. Very good dive bomb, picking up another spot. I noticed that it is, oh, get a little bit loose there. That was a problem. I'm not used to the throttle as well. How much torque you get out of these. But anyways, back to it. I noticed that in F1, it is very important to get your positions as quickly as possible, especially with a lower tier car like our Toro Rosso. Going into the corner, we are catching up to Charles Leclerc. And see, like, they brake in the middle of nowhere. So I was just trying to follow them as patiently as possible. Coming into turn 15. Try not to spin the wheels coming out. And then we go on to the front straightaway and we keep it going. But yeah, like I said, it is important to get as many spots as possible, trying to get past Leclerc. But unfortunately, our power unit is not strong enough, even in the draft. So we try to go on the outside. Leclerc's blocking the inside, trying to get in, lock up the front wheel. Didn't work out as good. We were trying to get the inside for turn 2. Hitting the straightaway going into turn 3. We're trying to catch up. But it's just not working. The dive goes in. We blow off another fucking front wing. And we skip forward because no one wants to see any more flashbacks. Here we got about 2-second gap now to Leclerc. We're getting pressured by Van Dorn up the outside. We let him take the spot. He's faster than us right now. But yeah, in F1, it is very interesting. You have to manage your fuel and your ERS throughout the race to have maximum power and also to make sure your car doesn't blow up, because if you run out of battery, you can't run. And if you run out of gas, you can't run either, as F1 cars do not refill during pit cycles like in NASCAR and other motorsports. In F1, all they do is change the tires. They have, I don't even know how many compounds this year. But in our race today, we are running a one-stop. As you can see in the top left, we are running the Ultra Softs right now, and then we switch. I think around lap 5 or lap 6 is our pit window. We go in, I think, a little bit early. We'll see that in a couple minutes, and then we switch on to the Super Softs. But here, we're trying to chase back down Van Dorn. I knew that DRS activates on the 3rd lap, so I was trying to save a little bit of our ERS and a little bit of our fuel. Going ahead and try to catch them on the DRS. We are going into the corner, launching, getting as close as possible, because you need to be 1 second behind to activate your DRS. If you don't know what DRS is, it's basically a automated zone where basically if you press a button, it will open an adjustable flap on your rear wing of the car and give you more speed, less drag behind the car that you are trying to pursue, and give you a better opportunity to pass on a straightaway, which makes for better racing. So knowing that, I knew that there was going to be one on the front straightaway, so I try to get as close to Van Dorn as possible and see if we can pass him. Unfortunately though, I realized that we need to start saving battery and some gas, so I try to put down those modes while using the DRS, hoping that it would still keep me close to them. But other than that, I didn't realize that Sorokin was on our outside, so we have to dive it into corner 1, hold them out on the outside, go to turn 2, another DRS zone activates. So I'm trying to now I'm trying to set up my stuff to go as fast as possible, because I know Sorokin is on our tail. We go into turn 3 very nicely. Coming into turn 4, I know that I'm faster than all the computers into turn 5. So we try to dive bomb it in there. We're going up behind Leclerc. We see we're kind of get boxed in here because no one's making a move. I get kind of swirly, come in hot, and there goes my wing again off Leclerc's tire. So we rewind that back because I was pissed off because I knew I could make a move here. So we do it again because we're just too fast coming out of this corner, too fast coming out of turn 5. So we're going here. Leclerc, luckily on this time, goes ahead of Van Dorn, so we can dive it up the side. Try to pass Van Dorn here. We get him, perfect. And we get a pretty good run trying to chase Leclerc into turn 9 and 10, which is my worst turn. As you can see, the braking markers on the fence. There's one that's kind of hidden that was really messing up my braking point here. I get kind of squirrely off of the rumble strip, and basically we're going to crash it. So I got pissed again, and we said we're running that shit back because this braking point, as you can see on the left, I'm probably going to zoom it in there. It's kind of behind a fenced-in spot. Most of them are on the main fence, but then the last one that you actually have to see for your braking point is a little bit behind, so you can't really see it approaching. So it was really messing up my braking point here. We're going into turn 11 and 12, which I was having a little bit of problems as well. I couldn't really get the gearing right. We're in a DRS zone. We're trying to catch up to Leclerc. I think we get pretty close here coming into turn 13. And yeah, I don't know. We're trying to stay as close as possible to them, but I end up making a couple of mistakes here. We dive it in pretty deep, lock it up a bit, and then we get swirly, which is never good coming out of turn 15 going on to the straightaway. And our DRS zone is enabled, but we start running out of power after trying to pursue Leclerc for almost a full lap or half a lap. Again, we're into the DRS zone, still trying to keep up with him. We got Van Dorn on our tail, ready to catch up. Again, we're trying to save the ERS. You can see him pulling up with the arrows. Van Dorn is behind us. We're going into our best corner right here. I was trying to make moves basically out of turn 5 into turn 6 and 7 because look at the runs we're getting. We try to go on the inside of Leclerc. We're going on the outside, and then he fucking brake checks me. I got so goddamn pissed because he wouldn't let me go. I'm starting to yell at the TV if you look up in the wheel cam there, but we flash it back because I know I can make a goddamn move coming out of this corner, and we need it because we need to get at least top 16. We're in 15th, but I know I can pass Leclerc. We dive on the inside here. We kind of lock it up going to the grass, hit his tire. We get swirly coming out. And then Van Dorn capitalizes, bumps into us, and then brake checks us again. And I'm fucking, I'm so cheesed right now. I'm yelling at the TV. I don't know why he couldn't just keep driving, but he decided to brake check us after we made the good move. So here, I'm just fucking pissed. I just drove straight into Ericsson's wheel. I don't give a fuck about the wing damage. This is probably lap 3 or 4 now, and our pit window is 5 to 6. So I said, fuck it. We got a position. We got what we wanted. We kept the wing damage. We're going to deal with it in the pits. I get squirrely coming out because I'm just fucking cheesed at this point. We're trying to save here. I'm blocking Leclerc because of what happened recently. I'm just starting to drive like an absolute dickhead. But we shift pretty low there. We probably slowed down too much coming out of 12 there into the DRS zone. They're going to be catching up pretty quickly, so I'm just trying to brake and see what we can do here. I know the wing is damaged, so I'm trying to box this lap, tell them I'm coming in this lap because you got to do that. But A is not the button you do to accept when you're saying commands to your team. It's actually right on the D-pad. And I ended up switching my camera angle, which fucked me up. We're here, going to the pits quickly. We come out of the pits, and there's a virtual safety car. And as you can see, the debris from people crashing just is left on the track. So you got to go around that because if you hit that with your wheel, it'll pop on simulation damage. So we came out of the pits to a virtual safety car, which, again, coming from other motorsports, I'm not too sure and know most of the rulings on a virtual safety car. I just know, you can't really see it in the top right now, but there's a certain time for each section that you can't exceed. So right now we're just pacing because I didn't really know what was going on. I was trying to get as quickly as possible. DRS is enabled. We're zoom racing. And we continue on. As you can see now, our teammate, Brandon Hartley, has gone into the pits after us. He usually has first dibs on the pits, but since we had a broken front wing, we decided to go in before him and undercut everyone. So now that we're on the super softs, we are trying to save as much tire as possible. As I say that, we get a little bit loose coming out of 15. Not very good. Coming down the back straightaway, we see people exiting the pit. I'm trying to go as fast as possible down the straightaway so I can get in front of our teammate because there's rivalries in this. We'll see it at the end of the episode, but you basically have a rivalry with your teammate, and you can also have a rivalry with another driver, which we should be able to get in the coming races. But basically, you have to beat our teammate at every race, and I was trying to do that as best as possible here as we understeer coming out of 4 and 5. And then we're really toasting the tires. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but from here on out, basically the plan was to try to catch up to the pack in front of us, and hopefully we could make some moves. But other than that, we were trying to just hopefully, as you can see, Max Verstappen's out of the race. Also, in that last virtual safety car, I forgot to mention that Lance Stroll and also somebody else got into a wreck. That's why there's the debris on the track, and they're both out of the race too. So 3 people are already out of the race. That's 3 more positions for us to not end last. It's looking good, boys. As you can see right now, Hartley is in front of us with a little bit of a gap. And unfortunately, throughout the race, it just gets worse and worse. I don't know what we were doing. Again, we burnt the tires out pretty bad. Another caution comes out, or there's a caution in this sector. And as you can see, there's Verstappen on the side of the road. As I knock my mic, excuse that. But yeah, he was just chilling on that side. Not sure if he blew an engine or somebody got into him. But anyways, positive for us. As you can see, we move up into 13. And then there's another caution. Bottas has blown an engine. We move into 12th. It is looking very good that we could probably hit the points today, which I didn't expect could happen in a mid-tier car like this. I mean, it is a little bit of higher mid-tier car, I would say, but with my driving, as you can see how many flashbacks we used in like 4 or 5 laps, that I wasn't sure where we were going to finish. As we skip ahead further on, we are still 12, trying to catch Hartley, but to no avail. We are losing seconds of time as I fucking just slide straight in to that corner. We get a little bit angry there at ourselves for some reason. We're feeling the pressure, and as we come out of that flashback, a virtual safety car appears for no reason. Now you can see under the wheel cam there briefly that we had to slow down, and this basically cost us almost the whole position here, as you'll see at the end of the race. That the virtual safety car basically gave Fernando Alonso a fucking great opportunity to hit DRS behind us. As you can see, he's right on our tail now. So basically, instead of us trying to chase down Hartley, we were trying to defend Alonso for the rest of the laps. But as we've already cooked our tires pretty badly, I was just trying to save and hold the position as best I could as we go into our best corner here, turn 5, just blaring around it, trying to cause a gap. And then as you can see on the screen, Lewis Hamilton has retired from the race, so both Mercedes cars out. Don't know what's going on with them. That is not like them in real life. They're usually fairly dominant every weekend at F1. As we lock up the tires again, going into our worst corner, 9 and 10. I flash back. We're even locking up in the flashback, but we had to roll that one back. I couldn't do that. But as you can see in the bottom right, we were having a little bit of fuel issues as I was trying to get away from Alonso. Again, I lock it up, trying to stay away. Hamilton is close to us right now, so we're probably going to see him. He's the next one. I accidentally pull up some fucking speech bubbles, which gets me onto another thing. This whole... Alright, hold on. Let's see Hamilton, and bye-bye. Okay, so we got rid of that. But this whole switching stuff on the race and me not knowing most of the courses in F1 is very, very challenging. Basically a whole new challenge in racing that I never knew, existed. So we're gonna get used to it, get used to switching our fuel mix and our ERS deployment, but I have it mapped out. As you can see, we moved up into position 10, points position, the last points position. So right now I'm starting to get scared that Fernando is behind us and has DRS. We run over some of Lewis Hamilton's debris, and now I am having to save basically all my battery because I'm trying to run away from Fernando and not realizing that I'm almost drained the battery fully. Now I'm driving like fucking shit, trying to hold on to points position in our first race in the Toro Rosso. But we come out here onto the back straightaway, and I'm pretty sure this is where Fernando catches us. You can see he has DRS, he has the draft, he's pulling up on us pretty quickly. I don't even have fuel to spare. He comes out on the outside, and guess what? That's not even him. It's Grosjean just fucking blowing by us from out of seemingly nowhere. I don't know where he came from, taking position 10 away from us and moving along. I think he was on a 2-stop, so that's why he caught up to us. I'm not too sure on that. But as you can see, we're in the final lap. We're trying to now hold off Alonso, so at least we can get 11th. We're coming in here, driving it in cautiously to block the inside route. Coming in around into our worst corner, turn 9 and 10. I'm trying to save battery here, trying to stay away from Alonso. We're in our worst corner here. Do we blow it? No. We go around it actually pretty well for most of the times we've gone around turn 9 and 10 here. Kimi Räikkönen has won the race, you can see in the top left. And now it is all about saving. Coming into turn 11 and 12. Did it pretty poorly here in 6th gear. Staying at the bottom. DRS zone for Fernando. Into 7th gear here. We're going to go in very cautiously. Let him have the inside. He doesn't go for it. No dive bomb from Fernando. Come into turn 14. Very good. Coming in. Hopefully we don't lock up in the last corner. Perfect corner from us. And we go around turn 16 and we run up the front straightaway trying to hold off Fernando, but he cannot make it up. We end up the first race of our F1 season in place 11th, one away from points, which is very unfortunate. We did have a pretty good race, if I do say so myself, minus all of the flashbacks, but again, we'll probably use it for 3 or 4 races, and then we will probably ease up on it. As you can see here, we go straight into the ceremonies. Kimi Räikkönen with the win, 2 Ferraris on the podium, and our upper Red Bull teammate, I don't know if that was Max or Ricardo, but they are there and they are celebrating. God damn, that music is hype. I don't even know. I've never heard that fucking orchestra song in my life, but it is fucking lit, boys. Anyways, as you can see, we're rounding off the end of the race here. We're looking through the standings. We end up in 11th. Our teammate Brandon Hartley makes it into the points and gets the first points for Toro Rosso this season. Very good from him. 9th place, not so good for us. But your top 3 is Räikkönen, Vettel, and Ricardo. No Mercedes. They are at the bottom of the leaderboard, which is going to be interesting for the rest of the races this season. I don't know if they both had power failures or what, but we'll see how that turns out. As we wrap it up here, you could see our rivalry like I was talking about. We are losing it at the moment, which kind of sucks, but as we progress, hopefully we can do a little bit better than Brandon and secure our spot and hold our spot in our rookie season in the Toro Rosso Honda-powered Red Bull. As you can see, we get resource points, and this is our reputation with other teams and ours as well. Ours went up, so that is great to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I've been Matt from EMFC. Like, comment, and subscribe for more F1 career mode on the channel. Next episode, we should have the wheel cam in the proper position, and I think we will do live comm. We'll see how it is. If not, I'll be back to record over and bring you the next episode of our F1 season. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.